A doctor, a guerrilla leader, an icon on millions of t-shirts. Behind the beret lies a complicated ledger. In 1959, at La Cabaña fortress, he oversaw executions of 55 to 105 people by documented records. Many trials lasted minutes. He helped transform Cuba into a one-party state with labor camps for anti-revolutionaries. He was willing to risk nuclear war for his beliefs. He claimed he had his own reasons. Today, we examine them, not to excuse, but to understand how a healer became an executioner.
You were a doctor who healed children with asthma, your own disease. When did healing stop being enough?
When I realized medicine treats symptoms, not causes. A child dies of hunger. You can't cure that with a stethoscope. You must change the system.
In 1952, Ernesto Guevara traveled 8,000 kilometers across South America. He treated leprosy patients others wouldn't touch. He saw children dying while foreign companies extracted wealth. In his diary, he wrote about the acrid smell of gunpowder and blood he felt would be necessary.
In 1959, you ran La Cabaña fortress. Trials lasted minutes. You said, to send men to the firing squad, judicial proof is unnecessary. How is that justice?
Those men tortured students. They murdered union leaders. Batista killed 20,000 Cubans. Should we have let torturers walk free? Hired lawyers who served the dictatorship?
Without due process, how do you separate guilty from innocent?
We knew who they were. The people knew. Revolutionary justice is swift because the crimes were clear.
Many executed at La Cabaña were indeed Batista's security forces, but rapid tribunals left little room for appeals. Guevara rarely granted clemency. The question remains, where is the line between justice and vengeance?
You moved into a mansion with a pool. Meanwhile, you told Cubans to sacrifice. Wasn't that hypocritical?
I worked 20-hour days there. I took lower salary than factory workers. I cut sugarcane on Sundays. Did I ask anything I didn't demand of myself?
You demanded a lot. As Minister of Industry, you tried abolishing material incentives. The economy collapsed. Sugar production dropped 40%. Was that idealism or arrogance?
It was an experiment. Yes, it failed. But capitalism was a system where Guatemalan children died so Americans could have cheap bananas. I wanted to create a new man who worked for community, not greed.
Guevara's policies were disastrous. Cuba's economy began a decline, continuing today. But his question challenges us. Can a society built on self-interest ever be truly just?
Your ideology led to UMAP camps. Priests, homosexuals, people who didn't fit your vision sent to labor camps. How is that different from fascism?
Those camps were created after I left for Congo. I didn't design them.
But you created the system where deviation was punishable. You wrote that individualism must be eliminated. Didn't your philosophy create those camps?
Revolution required unity. But I fought for the oppressed, not to create new oppression. If the camps became what you describe, that was a betrayal.
UMAP camps were established in 1965 after Guevara left Cuba, but the ideological foundation, eliminating anti-social elements, was there from the beginning.
October 1962, Cuban Missile Crisis. You were angry when Khrushchev removed the missiles. You said if Cuba controlled them, you'd have fired them. At New York, millions of children would have died.
The U.S. invaded at Bay of Pigs. They planned full invasion, Operation Mongoose. We had American missiles in Turkey aimed at Soviets, but Cuban missiles in Cuba were unacceptable. The weapons were for defense.
But you said you'd use them offensively. that you'd accept Cuba's destruction for global revolution.
I said that in anger, when Soviets treated us like pawns. But yes, some principles are worth dying for. If the choice is slavery under imperialism or death with dignity, I choose dignity.
But you'd make that choice for millions of others, for children who never asked to be martyrs.
That is the weight a revolutionary carries.
His willingness to sacrifice countless lives for an abstract ideal reveals extraordinary conviction or dangerous fanaticism. Perhaps both. Every grain of sand is a human life with dreams and families.
You left Cuba in 1965, went to Congo, then Bolivia, abandoned your wife and 5 children. In Bolivia, the peasants you came to liberate reported you to the army. Why didn't they want liberation?
Because the CIA infiltrated. The church taught them to accept poverty as God's will. They couldn't see their suffering was imposed.
Or they saw a foreign man who didn't speak Quechua, who brought violence, who promised a war they didn't ask for.
I was willing to die for them.
And willing to kill for them, without consent. In that Bolivian ravine, when soldiers found you, you didn't die fighting. You surrendered. Don't shoot. I'm Che Guevara. I'm worth more alive. Why?
I thought I could still be useful to the revolution.
So the man who preached death with dignity over life with compromise chose life. Why?
Because in that moment, I was human. Not a symbol. Just a man with asthma, exhausted, who wanted to live.
In October 1967, Guevara was captured by Bolivian forces with CIA assistance. Unkempt, sick, defeated. The legend ended with a human moment of self-preservation. He was executed the next day.
Final question, Ernesto. Your face sells more t-shirts than Coca-Cola. Students who've never read Marx wear you. You wanted to destroy capitalism, but became its most profitable rebel. You wanted a new man, but created a new product. Was it worth it? The executions, failed economy, camps, nuclear brinkmanship, worth it to become a logo?
My face on a t-shirt isn't my legacy. It's proof people still hunger for something beyond consumerism. They wear that image because, deep down, they know the world is unjust. I gave them hope that change is possible.
But what change? Cuba, people flee on rafts. Bolivia, peasants still poor. Your new man, where is he?
He's still being born. Evolution isn't an event. It's a process. It takes generations.
Or maybe he was never real. Maybe you chased a ghost while leaving real corpses behind.
I had my own reasons.
Yes. The question is whether your reasons were enough.
Ernesto Che Guevara remains history's most polarizing ghost. He saw real injustice, nations looted and children dying. His rage was a sincere response to a broken world. But in his quest to heal it, he wielded a blade instead of a scalpel. He believed violence could birth justice, forgetting that true transformation requires consent, not force. He loved humanity in the abstract, but struggled with real humans and their traditions. The final irony? The man who died to destroy capitalism became its most profitable product. An icon emptied of substance, sold for $19.99. He had his own reasons, born of genuine suffering. But sincerity is not wisdom, and conviction is not truth. Every martyr creates a legend, but legends rarely tell you the price others paid for one person's faith. He had his own reasons, but a reason is not an excuse. I'll see you in the next investigation.